Yo, welcome back to another Mechabellum video. Today I'm going to be reviewing my games from the Midweek Mini Tournament that I played in yesterday. Couple of things before we get started. I know I need a haircut and I look terrible. I'm sorry about that. And secondly, this jersey is not gelling well with my camera. I don't know why. It's not a black jersey. It's just dark blue, but the lighting in my room is not great. So it just looks weird. It looks like I'm just a head. But I'm not just a head. And I really wanted to make this video because I had some fun games. So I thought, man, it doesn't matter how I look. I'm sure people will forgive me for that. So please do forgive me for this. Yeah, so let's go find the games. Where was it? Oh yeah, we started with Tarkus. So I'm in Advanced Group 1 here. I'm playing with all the top players. Quite a few decent options here. I've been liking Sledgehammers as a starter, especially for standard, because it's I think the strongest starting pack for standard play right now, and that's what I am. Cool. So Darkus goes for Fortified Specialist. He's got Marksman and Tarantula. I'm thinking, what do I go here? Usually I go Marksman, but I decided to go Hounds because I've been loving Hounds. Also, I know for the fact that the Arclight Sledgehammer starter used to be really good. Starting comp. And it was something that I actually preferred, and I feel like the Hounds are the same, but just better. So yeah, but because he's got Marksman here, it's likely that he will win the first round, because it gives him quite a bit of DPS, and once he clears all my chaff, it's really easy for him to just pick off all of my Sledgehammers. We do have quite a player HP deficit here. Second round, if I get the Phoenix or if I get the Farseer, I most likely will take one of the two. He takes the Phoenix, I take the Phoenix. Now it's just about where do we put it. Also, I'm thinking, what are the units that I need to bring in with this? Recently, I've been putting my Phoenix on the inside because I don't like them getting pulled by these outside pulls here. So I can pull this Phoenix if I want to with a crawler right here, and it will distract him for the first couple of seconds in the fight, which could be very good for me. He decides to go for 2 extra Tarantulas. I go for Hounds. Hounds have been really good, even though Tarantula is fairly good against Hounds. But I think Hounds hold their own. I'm just trying to figure out the right position here. I go range on them. Round 2 range on Hounds is very powerful. So yeah, that's one of the benefits of being supply specialist. You've got that extra 50, and I didn't use the extra 50 in round 1, so I had an extra 100, which allowed me to go range on the Hounds. I did not expect him to go for the Phoenix, by the way, because he already has Marksman on the board, but it's also a sign of the state of the meta in that a lot of players think that the Phoenix is better than the Marksman, even though I think in a long range battle, okay, this is not really long range. For him, I think the Phoenix is better. He decides to sell it though and goes into Marksman instead and buy some chaff. He's defending against the spell, which is the underground threat. He gets range on his Tarantulas. I get 2 extra Hounds, and I get defense enhancement. I always get defense enhancement when I get underground threat, because if it's a 1 versus 1, then I win. So if he had to put his here on top of mine, I would win because I have my crawlers have more HP. Even though I have no crawlers on the board right now, I do also decide to bring in a Stormcaller, which I think is really good against Tarantula here. Let's see how this plays out. Still very little chaff, so Marksman directly targeting our sledges, but our crawlers do get in because he guessed wrong. He put it in the middle. One of the weaknesses of aggro is that it's really hard to defend these kind of spells, and you have to spend quite a bit of money. So as a standard player, you always want to take those. Wasp Swarm, Underground Threat, all of those things, they work very well. He chooses Shield here. I choose Incendiary, which I thought I could just put over here. Yeah, but I should have known that he would shield up. I decided to shield up as well, because I was almost sure that he would take it. But yeah, he didn't. More hounds. So the thing with hounds is they are kind of pseudo chaff. So I'm kind of using these ones here as chaff. And I like to bring in these late ones because they actually really help against these late crawlers. Especially because these ones on the sides, you always get stuck. And you can see I'm also bringing them in scattered in waves, right? There's 3 waves of hounds. And there's a very specific reason for that. It's because I'm also kind of using them as chaff. Yeah. And it works fairly nicely. His shield does help him quite a bit there. So it's a very close round. He will end up winning. Because he's got level 2 marksman. And I got debuffed. Okay, so we're down. But we didn't, that wasn't a big loss. He skips here. There's a lot to consider. I go for the electromagnetic blast. I know that I'm most likely not going to use it again, but I think it's a massive advantage. I go for Mech Rage on my hounds. I get more Phoenix, and I got another Stormcaller on board. So now my board is looking, I think I'm ahead here, in my opinion. But let's see how this plays out. This Phoenix is level 2 now, so doing really well against the tarantulas. Mech Rage made a massive difference. Yeah, gave us the win, but only barely. Only barely. This is still on a knife's edge, this game. Interesting options here. I go for advanced missile. When I play against aggro, I always do this. And because I take it, it's kind of like they always have to shield in the last few rounds, because I can basically take out a whole level 1 tarantula with 1 missile, which could be devastating for him. Goes for Mustangs. Lots of chaff on his board. Good structure, I think. I think these Mustangs are a bit too far back over here. But I kind of understand why. Maybe he's worried about the flank, but he's already got missiles. So yeah. I do commit a bit more into the Stormcallers. He goes range on his Mustangs. I actually got I was a bit worried when I saw the Mustangs, because I thought, oh no, now I can't commit to Stormcallers because you can go Missile Interceptor. And turns out the Mustangs are just really good with range against my Phoenix. Good call by him. The problem with Mustangs in Standard is that they're very vulnerable to fire. I don't really like them in Standard too much. I actually prefer Wasps. I think Wasps in Standard versus Mustangs are just better. I know that sounds weird. It's like, oh yeah, Mustangs are the counter. But they just, they work better because they're not as susceptible to fire. Okay, he goes for the Fortress. I go for the Sabertooth. There's another underground threat on the board. My Phoenix have been doing really great for me. They've got range. They're doing a lot of damage. This is the #1 damage dealer on the board. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good here. I wasn't sure what he was going to take. He decides to go for anti-air barrage on his fortress. I think that's okay, but I get it. These guys are doing a lot of damage. I decided to go for a bus here. Kind of unfortunate for him because, yeah, the bus is gonna absorb all of the missiles. Yeah, I didn't want to give the game away because my bus was coming and I was like trying to say that I've got a counter for it, but I didn't expect it at all. I didn't think he would go for this. This is just dumb luck on my part, to be honest. So the abyss absorbed everything, all the barrages, which meant that my phoenixes were just safe. It was a stroke of luck, and honestly, I was very happy here. The abyss did die, but I would have lost that much harder if I didn't go for the abyss. So overall, very good round. We barely won. I would have lost that really hard. Okay. Amplifying core taken by Tarkus. I take the portable shield. Rear my sledgehammers. I like that. Level some hounds. Level some phoenix. I bring in another abyss. This time I add swarm missiles. He doesn't have any missile interceptors, so that's going to be really good. Get range. I took a loan. I have defense and attack enhancement. He does not. Got fire on the board now. I decided not to shield because now I know that he doesn't have fire. I don't have to worry about any of that. He has to shield because I've got the fire. So I think at the end of the day, the fire then makes it worth it, right? Like that's a lot of value that I'm getting from that fire because you have to put up so many shields. I do kill the shields almost immediately with the first swarm barrage. He's now got a ton of Mustangs on the board, but they get decimated by the swarm. And my Phoenix are just in the back line doing a ton of damage behind the abyss. It's magical. The combo works so well and it catches people off guard like crazy. It's like before when we used to bring in wraiths with field maintenance to absorb those shots. He goes for the Farseers here. Honestly, nothing here really helps my board. The one thing I was thinking about is the Wraith. Because I thought I could do Dark Companion. And I did end up going for that idea. That was the top candidate. I'd never used this tech before. This is the first time I'm using it. So let's see how it goes. I think it's going to be good. He doesn't really have a lot that can kill it besides his Mustangs, right? And he's got a few marksmen, but they really only focusing on the Abyss. I do get armor enhancement on the Wraith. So that means I'm going to have 6 Wraiths on the board with armor enhancement. And they are just going to absorb everything. He got missile interceptor on the Farseer, but I mean it's bro. It's 46 missiles. There's no ways you're gonna catch all my missiles. I've got too many missiles on the board. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah. Missiles do also target the tower, so we get the debuff, which is really nice. He spent a lot of money on missile interceptors as well. Just didn't work out, and I get the W. Beautiful Abyss game there. I'm really enjoying this unit. Especially as a game ender, it's pretty strong. Hounds just doing so well. They did a lot of the heavy lifting in that match. You notice I didn't have a lot of chaff, just 5 sets, nothing fancy, 6 sets, but mostly using the hounds. And because he's got this replicate here on his crawlers, Having extra hounds just really helps you because they do that extra little bit of chaff clear against all of the stuff that he has. The missile interceptor on the faster just isn't strong enough for all the missiles that I'm throwing at him. So yeah, I think that was a poor decision there. I would have rather done it on my Mustangs. But even then, I'm killing all of the Mustangs in the backline with some of the swarm anyway. So yeah. Also, you don't want to be too dependent on the Mustangs because the wraiths with the arm enhancement is also there, and they're going to be shooting against that and trying to shoot down missiles. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one for him. Glad I got the W. Let's go on to our next game. Next game, I played against Rooster. I've played Rooster a couple of times. I think he's beaten me twice. I've beaten him once. Yeah. Okay. So couple of options here. I know that he likes to play aggro, and from my pack, I knew that there was definitely balls for him on the other side, which I thought he will definitely take. So considering that, I had to think about what my best choice is versus a ball start, which is then why I chose the tarantula and marksman with the farseers. Right, he chooses the ball pack with the crawlers. I think that was my first good read in this game. I do have to go standard here because I mean Rooster is one of the best aggro players out there, so you don't know where he's going to deploy. He doesn't have a very specific consistent style. He just deploys where he wants based on what he thinks is good in the moment, right? So that makes it very difficult to read him, which is why I've been losing a lot of games against him. One of the things I did here is I just did my standard aggro defense setup. Not gonna lie, I was very nervous going into this game. I had quite a few people watching me also at the same time, like as in my friends. You know when like you're playing in the arcade and you're like one of the stronger guys in the group, and then you're facing one of the other stronger guys in another group, and it's like your friends are like trying to cheer you on, but there's also pressure that you have to like win. That's how this felt, kind of. I was struggling with my formation here. I didn't know exactly what to do. I think I I decided on this formation. See what he's done. His starting formation is it's nothing standard. There's nothing you can say that's unique about it. That's just a Rooster standard starting pack. So I'm in big trouble here because he's got hounds, balls, and crawlers, which is so good against what I have. So starting off the game on the back foot here against a very strong opponent who's about 300 MMR higher than me. We are going to lose this first round, but not too bad. Small loss. Small loss. He also has 4,700 player HP. I know he likes wasps here. This was my second good read in the game, so I went for Wraith. So yeah, I think I didn't think any of the other things. Maybe the Fire Badger would have been good, but it was either the wasps or the Fire Badger, and I think either or would have been good for again. It's good for me if I go for the Wraith, right? So he does decide to go for the wasps here. I am thinking about what I should do here. Looking at the board, I decide to go for another tarantula and some crawlers. That's it. He goes for the Fire Badgers. Good play here by him. I honestly did think he would go for the wasps, and I'm sure he was considering it. Because I don't have anything else besides my marksman that shoots up, right? But he then decides to sell out of the balls and then just buys wasps. So yeah, goes to the wasps anyway. With the fire badges on the right hand side, level 2 fire badges here gonna do very well against what I have. but but I am gonna win the left side handily because of the wraith. So a little bit of change in direction here for both of us. I like to call this the inflection point in the game. Sometimes you start off and it's like, you know, we're just feeling each other out. But I feel like at this point in the game, he's got a direction that he wants to go in, and I've got an idea of where I want to go as well, right? I really like Marksman and Tarantula in Standard, especially against aggro. In Standard versus Standard, it's terrible, but in a defense against aggro, it's actually pretty good. Weirdly enough, the balls don't do as well as you would think they would, because you usually supplement your army with other things. Sometimes I even take hounds with the tarantulas. He goes for laser sights. Okay, I go for laser sights as well. It just makes a lot of sense. Brings in a phoenix to deal with the wasp. So it looks like you know, he's really just trying to still figure out exactly where he's going, but the direction is, you know, he's got phoenix, he's got these strong balls on the left here, he's got some wasps. So it looks like it's gonna be a phoenix fire badger. He finds the gap in my formation over here and goes straight for the tower. Really good mobile beacon. I go for another wraith. I did not expect this phoenix, to be honest, but he read my play. This is the problem with being like a standard Andy. Some of my plays are very predictable, because if I was gonna get another wraith, that's exactly where I would put it, in the same place my other wraith is in. So the read that he made there with the phoenix was spot on. That's a bloody good read by him. I was very impressed with that, actually. So we lose the round, right? I still think marksmen are better into phoenix. So yeah, I get the controlled firepower. I mean, the firepower control system, we both take it because it's so good. I put it on. I had to decide, do I put it on my wraith or my farseer? I decided to put it on my wraith because he doesn't have too many big things. He now gets range on his fire badger. Firmly into phoenix fire badger now. Pretty good strat. I think it's very strong, but I do think that Tarantula is slightly stronger than Fire Badger. So yeah, I'm sort of not committing into the Wraith here, but I'm keeping them around because I'm thinking maybe I can go range. With range, they sort of can fight against unranged phoenixes, and so what that means is they don't die as quickly. Posse on the left to take care of the balls. I still have a problem with these wasps on the right hand side, but yeah, he loses to the left because of the farseer. I do still have a few fangs and a marksman that heats up, so they should be able to take care of these wasps. We win round 4, going into round 5. Right, this is where big things happen, right? Here's where you have to make your move, basically. And like, basically what Rooster does here is he takes the redeployment, he decides to go to the other side with the balls, and now he's gonna focus his entire attack on the right hand side here. I made a really good guess with my electromagnetic impact and just used it over here because I was actually a little bit scared of the right hand side. I did go wraith range, and And I did put down this fresh set of fangs here because I sort of noticed that he was starting to move over. So just I had a pack over here and then I just made it symmetry. Those habits get you in so much trouble because that's how we got that read on the Wraith. I was actually considering repositioning my Wraith as well. That first fire badger in the middle there, first set died very quickly. And didn't actually do that much. My tarantulas are doing very, very well here. Right, round 6. More spells. Additional deployment was also something I was looking at. But I like my red spells, so I went for the electromagnetic barrage. Electromagnetic blast, sorry. He does the same. It makes sense because I can't block it with my wraiths and he can get this whole... Yeah, he can get this whole area here. So that's really good. I decided to go oil on the left. So it's a double handicap. I get some Stormcallers on the left as well. I like to do this, get Stormcallers and oil at the same time. They come in and make a massive impact. Yeah. He does go for hackers. Hackers, really good counter for tarantulas, especially if you're going to go into mines, spider mines. And I know that as well, so when someone does go hacker into my tarantulas, I specifically don't go for mines, because it doesn't make sense. You're just going to lose. It's a hard counter. He does set the fire, a light here on the left, the oil on the light. Hacker. Got my tarantula on the right hand side, got my tarantula on the left, and now he's got my Farseer and he takes the tower. Really good push. But we do still have some units on the left hand side. If we can kill all his upshoot, then we will win the round. And we do. So he's got nothing else that shoots. Oh, he's got the Farseer, never mind. But now the Farseer dies and then he's got nothing else that hits up. So my level 2 Wraith basically wins the round for us. That was supposed to be a tempo round for him. He was supposed to actually win that. Yeah. Tough one. Tough one. Yeah. I decided to take the Scorpions. With double shot, I think they do very well. Without range, they don't do so well though. But range double shot, once you get there, is pretty strong. And I had to make a tough decision as to what I was going to go first. Is it going to be double shot or range? He's still deciding here. He does go for the saber tooth and sells it. He's now got everything moved over to the other side. I do go for double shot first instead of range. Tough choice. But I thought I could pull it off. He's now pushing really hard into this tower. I decided to go for degen beam on the wraiths. He doesn't really have much to counter it right now. He is locking onto my scorpions. Not great. He's taken over all my scorpions, and then my scorpions are killing all my things. Not ideal. So that push on the right hand side with these 4 hackers, 1 level 3 and 2 level 2s, just very, very strong. Very, very strong. Still no giants, by the way. He's giant specialist, just so you know. Okay, we get the mobilized battleship and the Vulcan's Descent. I decided to go. This is one of my favorites against aggro players because it's almost impossible to defend against. But not impossible. Yeah. He chose to take it as well. It's just he put it on the wrong side. He did decide to move his Phoenix to the back over here. Really good play. Good heads up play. But it's a big sacrifice because now, you know, like this thing is sitting at the back here, potentially waiting for a ship and missing its first few hits. And the only other big single target damage dealer that he has here is the other Phoenix, right? So kind of a sacrifice. He does go for the crawlers on the right hand side here. I get the range finally on the scorpions so that they don't immediately get hacked. I sell the Farsi on the left here because they're not doing anything. I upgrade the scorpion. He does go for oil on the left hand side. My ship, it doesn't work out at all. But the push on the right has been thwarted because of the double shot and the range. We've just got too much for the hackers. And because that Phoenix was just stuck at the back there and doing no damage, we were able to then get the win. I was as surprised as you are that I won this game. It just, I think the Fire Badger underperformed here. I think there were a couple of good reads that I made in this game. The range on the Wraith was just spectacular, I think. And then the Degen Beam really made him struggle. The fact that he had to deploy crawlers and a Phoenix in his back line over there, just to defend it against my ship. I think that cost him that last round. So yeah, because he was unable to deploy anything here, and he only was put on fire. But I had level 2 tarantulas with range who were doing extremely well against the Fire Badgers. So yeah, I think fairly good game here. Nothing fancy, just stuck to the basics. Played what was on the board and got the W. Happy with that. Okay, next game was Woot. Man. Okay. So I've never won a game against Woot. I've played him 3 times. And every single time he beats me. So yeah, this is my 4th game against him. He's this hyper aggressive player. There's a couple of things I want to say here. First is that he's very consistent in the way he plays. He's got a very specific style, right? He deploys on the right-hand side of the board, and then when things aren't going well or when someone puts up an oil against him, he moves to the other side and shifts the tempo and the focus to that side of the board by avoiding anything that would punish him, right? So I know this. And I was sitting with my friends talking to them about this, saying these things, and I was going to deploy to the side, but I don't know why. I just decided, what if today he decides not to be Wood? I was so wrong, because you can see exactly what he's doing on the right hand side there. Yeah, so he's supply specialist with he's deciding what he needs to go here. He decides to go for crawlers. I kind of like that. It's a really good push. I just go for my standard defense strategy here. He does have the balls, and he's got an asymmetrical push, so he will win round 1. We don't really stand much of a chance here. It's an overwhelming push. Let's increase the speed. Aaron's doing a great job here. Okay. Wasp Swarm, heavy armor. Oh, I like both. I decided to go for the heavy armor here because I know that he doesn't take spells. These kind of spells. He just defends against them. Like, he would take it just to defend, but he generally doesn't take it. And if he does, I didn't really care because I was planning on getting, I think, an aerial unit here anyway. Yep. Heavy armor on the sledgehammers always works. Gives them more HP. It's very nice. Delays the push a little bit. So I went for fangs here just in case he went like wasps or did get the wasp swarm to defend. So he brings in more hounds and the phoenix. This push onto my tower is so strong. It's so overwhelmingly strong. In hindsight, I should probably have sold these units on the left here eventually, like early on already. But the problem is you can switch it up at any point. I don't really like selling them out because then this tower becomes weak, you know. So I like to solve the problem head on, or try to make some tempo plays so that I can get the tempo back and keep him on his toes, you know. Okay, wins round 2. Some interesting options here. I didn't think the marksman would do very well here, so I went for the melting point. In hindsight, that was a poor decision. I should have gone for the marksman. He decides to flank me on the left here with the rhino. That's a good flank. Go for the oil. It just feels like he's got more stuff on the board, right? He goes for range on his hounds. I would have loved to go range on my hounds as well. Usually round 3 is when I like to get it. But I just didn't have the money and I needed to play. I played very defensively here against him. Because I'm also very scared. I played quite scared. And when I play scared, I don't have a lot of confidence. I think that was one of my issues here. He's defending with the rhino in the back there. He's got these level 2 balls with the heavy armor that's really, really strong. But yeah, the push is just immensely strong here. The melter was definitely the wrong choice. I still have these random units pushing on the left hand side. You can just see Woot is playing with a lot of confidence right now. I've been watching a lot of his games recently and the man is on a tear. So big ups to him, man. He's been playing really well. I get the barrier for the Malta. He goes for electromagnetic blast, goes on top of my barrier. So really only just takes out the barrier. Yeah, I decided to go for a oil play. He goes for wasps and more phoenix. I really like these late wasps. Honestly, I should have done the same. I decided to put my typhoon on the left hand side to defend against the rhino. In hindsight, once again a bad decision. I should have just gone for like wasps here. Because I think it's really good. Or even mustangs, but mustangs wouldn't be that great, yeah. Wasps would definitely have done so much better. And the wasps actually come in to save him here because he would have lost this round if not for them, right? They came in and acted as really late chaff. Spectacular. Very good play. I do get the debuff. But I don't think it's going to be enough because I only have 1 Typhoon against 5 or 6 Phoenix. The Phoenix player was very strong as well. he kind of recognized that my upshoot wasn't very good. So big up on that read as well. Tough choice here. I was thinking Phantom Rays or Stormcaller. He goes for the Phantom Rays. More air stuff, because once again, I don't my upshoot is really bad. I also go for the Phantom Rays because my upshoot is really bad. I use it in defense here. I do decide to go for the Typhoons in defense because I thought that they could do a good job, but they were just too expensive for the value that I got out of them. You'll see in a moment that the balls actually really counter them quite hard. These level 2 balls doing an amazing amount of damage, and this Phoenix here is just so good. Quite a clinical push. I've overcommitted to this Rhino on the left hand side here, and he hasn't even thought about it again. So one of the other reasons I chose the Typhoon was because of I like using them against Phantom Rays. They actually work decently well against them. I see them as a pseudo counter. That's why I chose it, because I thought he would take the Phantom Rays as well, because I took them. But yeah, the Hounds and the Balls are still too strong. I'm not dealing with that. He does have Fire Extinguisher on the board. I go for the Spell here. He goes for the Eon Blast. I didn't think Eon Blast was good because he's got so many moving units. I knew that it would be good for him, and I did recognize that he was most likely going to do it on me, but all I could really do was maybe do a mobile beacon to the back or something. Okay, he does oil on the left this time. I do go multi-melter. Upgrade my tower. And yeah, I just really hope that this works. Let's see. But the Phoenix is on the board. They've already have quite a strong counter for the melters, so very difficult. I almost lost the game there. Lightning Storm for both of us. He also kept the Eon Blast for the last round, so yeah, a lot of my stuff is going to get decimated. He jump drives all of his Phoenixes to the other side. Sells out on the one set of balls over here. He always does this. I also read it. I actually was saying to my friends, he's probably just going to jump over to the other side. Which is why I put a Malta over here. He's also mobile beaconing everything to the left and brings in new Hounds over here. Couple of missiles. You can tell on my tone this game is over, right? I mean, he dominated me here, and it was a very well played game. Eon Blast takes out so much. Takes out the one Malta almost. Does take out the Malta. And the second Malta takes a lot of damage as well. They're coming in hard on the tower on the left. And yeah, I was just too slow here, man. The Woot was just so much faster than me. Outplayed. Very good game by him. Clinical. So big ups to him for that one. Let's go to the next game. I just got outplayed, out-tempoed here. Not much I could really do, to be honest. There are a couple of things that I could have done better. Probably Typhoon was the wrong choice. Maybe Wasps. But other than that, I think that was a straight outplay. Well done to him. My last game was against Tasty Bait. I haven't played against Tasty Bait before. Good player. I've seen a couple of his games. I haven't played against him before. I don't know if it's an alias or an alt account. He goes for Fortified here. I go for Fast here. Similar starts. He goes for Crawlers. So we're going into a bit of a murder match here. I'm just going to go quick deploy for the first round. Very simple setup for me here. Just going very defensive. Biggest regret here was that I don't know, I feel like the crawlers and the fangs on the right hand side here coming in at the same time was really bad. Kind of wished I had staggered them a bit better and then just used the crawlers, the fangs in the middle as a distraction. I think that would have worked slightly better from a positioning perspective. I need to take note of that. But yeah, he's got the marksman in round 1, so obviously he does really well. Very strong round 1 pack that he has. I also have quite a deficit on the HP. We both take extended range sledgehammer. I was very close to committing to sledgehammer here, even though I did buy 2. But I'm still lacking that single target damage, right? Also, my chaff is... Yeah, this positioning wasn't great from a chaff perspective. If I'm very honest about it. He just brought in some arc lights to help clear the chaff. And they did their job. Sledgehammer's on the right hand side doing okay, but we lost the left side. He's gonna get the debuff on us. And he'll get the second debuff as well. Kills the first sledge, kills the second, and we just won't be in time. It's gonna kill the fourth. We lose round 2. We are heavily on the back foot here. We need to figure out a way to win this. I go for the hounds. I think I should have gone for the phoenix here, to be honest, but I don't know. I just felt like the hounds would be really good. Yeah, the Vulcan makes a lot of sense for him, but he goes for the phoenix. That was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he took the phoenix. I was so surprised because he had marksman on the board already. Second opponent that has taken phoenix despite having marksman on the board. I go for more hounds. Yeah, I think by this round I should have had some form of single target damage here. I should have gone for the phoenix and I should have just ticked up my sledgehammers with rage here just to help with the chaff clear. That's what I should have done. But I had a bit too much faith in the hounds. I mean, granted, they are winning the ground. I mean, I'm winning the ground war really well. But unfortunately, I've got nothing that hits up. So he's gonna win this round by default. And this Phoenix can one-shot everything on my board, so he's gonna do it quite quickly as well. Even with the debuff, he's still doing a tremendous amounts of damage. But yeah, it will only be a 200 HP knock, which is not that bad, but still tempo in his favor. Not good for us. Skips. I go for elite hacker here. Yeah, he goes for Stormcallers. I didn't buy the hacker this turn. My single target is still missing. I'm thinking about what I can do here. Honestly, up until this point, I should definitely have gone like something in the air or some form of single target damage. I do decide to upgrade my tanks and my hounds instead. I think that was a bad idea as well. I feel like, yeah, I should have gone for some form of single target. I went for the Farseer instead. And just building up my my chaff. I think this chaff placement here is not that great either. Yeah, maybe I should have brought it in a bit later. I definitely needed some chaff on the outside here. The Farseer does lock onto the Phoenix, so it does its job. But these Stormcallers are doing work now. I'm very surprised that he went for Stormcallers because they're not really good into tanks, to be honest. But they did fairly okay. Okay, so with the Farseer and the power spike of the Farseer, it gives us a nice win. Not too big, but we get a nice win. I was not enticed by much of this, to be honest. He goes for quick cooldown. I skipped. Yeah, nothing looked good. He goes for range on his sledgehammers. Now I really need that single target, and this is once again that infliction point. I go for make rage on my sledgehammers. I didn't need to do that. I just thought, oh, make rage is really good against Stormcallers, you know, but I really didn't, because make rage is really used for that, for chaff clear and clearing things, right? He goes for oil over here. Oil's gonna do a lot of work. He does have 2 extra sets of sledgehammers as well. Right side doing okay, but yeah, we are just lacking that single target damage, man. If we had just one Phoenix here, we would be doing so well. Farseer is doing okay work. Farseer on the left did die though. So the make rage kind of worked out. We did get in quite fast. And here is where I was thinking about how I can keep up the tempo, right? Wasn't quite sure actually. And once again we get to an infliction point in the game. I go for the wasps. Because he's got nothing that heats up. He goes for the rhinos. I decide to get the hacker on this round, right? With range. But then he goes Mustangs with range. This read was insane. Like, what on my board tells him that going for Mustangs is a great idea here? What on my board? There's nothing. It was only the unit drop the wasps. So he made a blind read, went for ranged Mustangs. When on the turn I went for wasps. Great read. Honestly, probably I would say it was the big turning point in the game. Um, must say my hacker was a bit too far back for how fast my army was. And we're still losing the left side big time. The hacker on the right hand side just didn't make the impact I thought it would. It was a lot of money to spend on something that, yeah, it just didn't make a massive impact. I needed it like 2 rounds ago already. I don't know why I chose to bring it on so late. It was purely because I had the card and I was like, okay, I just want to try. But the range, the problem is the range on the sledgehammer is quite good with extended range. So it doesn't really work into hacker. He goes for advanced offensive tactics. Yeah, gives all of his tanks a lot of upgrades, makes them really hard to hack. I bring on another set of sledges on the right and another set on the left. Kind of like creating a box to protect my hackers. In hindsight, I should have probably had hounds in the rear instead. Just like four packs of hounds in the back line to help with these Mustangs and to act as chaff, late chaff. Yeah, we're not clearing his stuff fast enough. My hackers have to walk quite far forward in order to get hold of his things, so not great. We're barely hanging on. And we lose. So the hackers didn't do the thing. Now what? Now we're in trouble. Another unit drop. He goes for the Overlord. I go for the Vulcan. I sold 1 pack of... Yeah. And now I go for range on my sledgehammers. Maybe I should have sold the Vulcan and gone for more hackers. I think that might have been a solve. Because the Vulcan would have been worth a lot. 800. But I decided to go for Mustangs. And I thought they would be really good with the hackers. But yeah, he goes to the boat, he gets oil. I shielded for that reason. But it does get lit on fire because he also went for incendiary bomb. Really good play. Clears pretty much everything. We lost the left side hard. Now we've only got a few units left on the right. And Tasty Bait wins the game. Oh, not yet, not yet. Oh, he does. Yeah, he wins the game. Yeah, just some poor plays there by me. The hacker didn't work out. The Vulcan didn't do much, even though it did help a little bit with the... I don't regret my choice. It's just this, yeah, this was too expensive an investment for something that wasn't really doing that much. And the fact that I upgraded them, spent 300 on it, giving them levels, it just, yeah, I think that was a bad play. I should have focused on something else. I needed something to get rid of these tanks. And I thought the hackers would be it, but they just weren't. They were just a little bit too slow. Yeah, they were just a little bit too slow. But overall, I was very happy with the tournament. Had some fun games. I really enjoyed that terribly. Like, I really enjoyed that. I was having a lot of fun. One of the reasons I didn't stream it or record it was because I was talking a lot of shit with my friends in Discord, and they were playing as well. It was loud, it was rowdy, and I didn't think it would be a good idea to stream it or have evidence of what we said on the internet. So yeah, when I say I enjoyed it terribly, I mean it. I mean, I'm not saying it was a terrible time. It's me saying that I really liked it. I just had so much fun. I had so much fun, and I hope you had fun watching that as well. Some good games, some good insights. Just thought I'd give you my thoughts on the game, showcase the games. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I will check you next time. Peace.